is Dr. Bev Knox, and you are listening to my psychology tutorials. Learn psychology while you sleep. Certain aspects of personality relate particularly to interaction style. Preferences for taking in information and structuring the outside world exhibit themselves in negotiation temperaments, the right brain left brain dominance, learning style, type A characteristics, emotional stability, and needs for power, achievement, and affiliation may also relate to temperament. Everyone possesses and exhibits each facet from time to time, and to some extent, preferences may also change with environment, effort, and maturity. Whether we like to admit it or not, we characterize people regularly, both strangers and those we know. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of categorizing people is that our categorization of others is affected by and reflects on who we are. In fact, we are most likely to label those most different from us. In the negotiating arena, we must do the same thing. However, at least in the formal setting or in the negotiating with someone we just met, we are not afforded the time to accumulate experience with that person. Knowledge of personality and the dimensions of human behavior in temperament provides the power to interact effectively. Personality typing or labeling is not negative. There are no good or bad personality types. In fact, typecasting removes negative assumptions and attitudes, replacing them with a constructive, understanding viewpoint, thereby enhancing communication. Thus, it enables one to reset the tendency to view certain behavior from others as intentionally personal or offensive. Increased knowledge and understanding help us to control our own behavior so that we may reach our negotiation goals. Perception is a process of active participation. Individuals select and organize stimuli differently and categorize and interpret differently. What is sometimes viewed as an offensive or difficult behavior is merely a reflection of a personality comprised of components opposite to one's own. We tend to expect others to be like us. Our expectations affect our perceptions, and our perceptions affect interpretation and assignment of meaning. To be effective in negotiation, you must recognize and relate to people who see the world through lenses different from your own, who gather and process information in a manner different from your own, and whose values and needs are different from your own. Let us review the 4 key negotiating temperaments. First being the Harmonizer or the Pacifier. The Harmonizer is the intuitive perceiving combination. The Harmonizer sees the big picture and approaches problem with a broad perspective, organizing information into concepts and theories. Harmonizers have a tendency to discuss multiple issues together or move freely from one to another because they see the interrelatedness of matters in their search for meaning and a grand scheme. It is nearly impossible to get a harmonizer to focus on details. The harmonizer shares perceptions without making or looking for judgment. Miscommunication can occur if these perceptions are considered as decisions. Many harmonizers openly demonstrate their concern for others and may even take criticism personally. Next, we have the controller or the bull. The controller is the intuitive judging combination. The controller has an organized plan and is impatient for decision and resolution. The controller is firm, decisive, and deliberate. These negotiations thrive on structure and order, possesses stubborn resolve in the rightness of their positions, and want things to go their way. Even though controlling, these individuals do not seek conflict, but seek harmony. Miscommunication or disagreements can quickly escalate with a controller. They have a tendency to view things as fixed, right or wrong, and black or white. In communicating with a controller, it is best to allow time for him or her to moan in private as alternatives are introduced. The best way to get along with the controller is to evidence a desire to come to an agreement. Controllers are probably most easily recognized at the negotiating table by their sense of the big picture combined with their resolve. Next, we have the pragmatist or the street fighter. The pragmatist is the sensing judging combination. Pragmatists take things literally rather than conceptually. They like facts and figures as well as concrete, tangible results. They are practical, realistic, and bottom line oriented. Pragmatists view themselves as objective. Like the bull, they are organized and impatient for resolution. The best way to get along with a pragmatist is to utilize facts and figures and to demonstrate a concern for the bottom line. The best way to deal with a street fighter is to allow him or her time to cool off. Pragmatists are relatively easy to spot by their focus on details combined with their stubborn resolve. And next, we have the action seeker, the high roller. The action seeker is the sensing perceiving combination. The action seeker sees details, looks at specifics, and approaches things in order. Action seekers also take things literally rather than conceptually. Action seekers avoid both theory and planning. They are not impatient for resolution. Although they are able to defer decisions and adapt to new information, they do not have a strong sense of the here and now. They are hands-on people. Action seekers are spontaneous and action-oriented. They may allow excitement to take precedence over careful thought. Thus, when an action seeker goes out of control, they may either win or lose big. In communication, remember that action seekers often share perceptions that may sound like, but that are not judgments or decisions. The best way to communicate with the action seeker or the high roller is to utilize facts and figures and to occasionally encourage him or her to discuss personal interests in order to tone down the runway enthusiasm. Since they do not thrive on order or completion, action seekers can be easily distracted. Action seekers disdain rules and they are unpredictable. In addition to recognizing their detailed approach, you can spot an action seeker by some hyperactivity. Again, the 4 key negotiation temperaments are the Harmonizer or the Pacifier, the Controller or the Bull, the Pragmatist or the Street Fighter, and the Action Seeker, the High Roller. Temperament affects perceptions, interpretations, and certain behaviors. It is possible to recognize each temperament by paying attention to their approach. Harmonizers are general and open-ended. Controllers are general and resolved. Pragmatists are specific and resolved. And action seekers are specific and open-ended.